I'm Sue Shindell. I served on the board for the longest, I believe, and they nabbed me one day in the bakehouse. And we were having breakfast with my husband, the lovely Winston. And I think, truth be told, they wanted Winston to do this. And he sort of said, she'll do it. And so I learned a tremendous amount that morning from what was happening from Bud and Jim and how they got involved. And they hooked me. And so that's kind of how that got started. And it was a lot of physical work, you know, was fun, actually. Living in a car or living in a underpass or something was just totally unacceptable when so many of us had so much extra. So let's put a little effort into helping these people get back on their feet. And the hospital was so generous. I mean, I even offered to pay the rent, which I thought was pretty generous of me, which was $1 a year. Well, of course, money was just terrible. And figuring out how to get it and sitting around Jim Riley's table, licking stamps and envelopes and writing everybody we could think of that would give us $5. That was hard. Jim and I did a little really dumpster diving. We got in the dumpsters for leftover furniture out at Sweetwater Lake. We found things. And that was the physical work, putting beds together. Those things were hard, but they were fun because it was immediate gratification. You know, that part was immediate gratification. Well, in my opinion, what sets it apart is it takes anyone that is a family, that calls themselves a family. They don't even have to be blood related. They just have to be a family. And there are no religious restrictions. There are no gender restrictions. And it's about keeping a family unit together no matter what. Jim was there 24/7, it seemed like. He wasn't, but when I was there, it was rare that he wasn't, including overnight. Some of us were taking overnight shifts because there was nobody to stay, and you couldn't leave it. If we could take care of the children, that these people would have a much, much greater chance of success. And the children, if we got our act together well enough, the children would have a much greater chance of success. Well, it went from a ragtag by the seat of your pants, where can we get a bunk bed place, to somebody who could organize getting the things we needed. Finally, when people were aware of us, oh gosh, I wish I could remember the name of it. DePaul, St. Vincent de Paul was one of the places. Jill's house was another place. When they realized what we needed, then they could help out. And so it wasn't so ragtag as much as it was after that. Now it's run like a pretty well-oiled machine, I think. Since I'm no longer on the board, I'm not as aware as I was, but I don't think I think it works pretty smoothly. And it takes care of so many more services than we were able to do in the beginning, and the success rate is so much greater. I'm very proud of all the things people did, and the Hope Builders. My gosh, they were fabulous, and I hope they get some enormous credit for their work. The speed with which we were accepted by the community, the success rate that families have, and did I say the rate of growth? It's grown exponentially, I think. And rightfully so, because it's fulfilling a need that I didn't know we would be able to fill quite so well. If United Way thought we were wonderful, then we were. And other people would understand that too. Sit down a minute, I'm going to tell you a couple things. Have you ever been homeless? Do you know a family that's homeless? Do you know a family with children that are under 1 year old that are scrambling? Let me tell you what can be done for a family like that. Let me tell you about the people who are working at New Hope that are dedicated to what they do, and how those families feel rescued, and how they can stand on their own 2 feet and start taking care of themselves instead of a handout to them. It's really a hope and a help. And if they fall, guess what? Somebody's going to be there to help them for a while anyway. I can't remember exactly things, but you know, it was fun. There were fun things as well as difficult things. And I'm very excited about the fact that it's going to be a place where people want to come and get some help and get moving. Well, I lost my best hat, my best sun hat. That was terrible. Jim and I were out at Sweetwater Lake collecting some bunk beds from a family who was moving out, and they were very generous. And this family has been very generous with us in the past with money and other things too. But so we were out there, and we happened to have a pickup truck, and I can't remember what else. And down the street was a dumpster. Well, why would you pass up an opportunity like a cruddy old dumpster with stuff in it? So I said to Jim, "Are you up for it?" And he looked at me like, "No, I'm not doing this. Are you?" I said, "Well, I've done worse." So we got a chair out of somewhere, and he climbed up on the chair, and he climbed in the dumpster. Oh, I just loved it. He climbed in the dumpster and was handing me out lawn furniture, tables, whatever we could find. And we came out kind of filthy, but it was the lawn furniture for the backyard of 409 for a good long time. And it didn't, you know, it's one of those things that pride goes before whatever. I don't know what that is. You know, we just had none. We just said we need it, we're doing it.